Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications.
Another critic of the Trump's plans to destroy the Affordable Care Act is Lee Saunders, the president of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, or AFSCME. Roland sat down with him yesterday. They talked about that and about the collective power unions have to level the playing field for workers.
This way, first of all, let's deal with the Affordable Care Act. So all of a sudden, Department of Justice, we're not going to defend the law. The Trump folks want to get rid of all of it. This is what I keep saying to all of these broke, poor, white conservative voters in Kentucky, Mississippi, Alabama, all these places, folks where they hated Obamacare, but they love the Affordable Care Act. Hashtag we tried to tell you.
It's going to disappear. According to what they want to do, it's going to disappear. And the question is not only the impact that this will have on folks all over the country, not just in urban areas, but in rural areas, Appalachia, everywhere. But what is the plan if, in fact, it disappears? There is no plan. So millions and millions of people are going to be without health care. And it's unconscionable that somebody would even propose doing something like this. Yet they are. With no plan, Roland, there is no plan to replace it.
And, right. We have 50 plus votes to repeal and replace. He trashes the late Senator John McCain left and right all over the place, saying, oh, he voted against it. You would have had great health care if he didn't vote for it. I'm still trying to see what's the plan. I keep hearing, oh, you could cross state lines. I still haven't seen anything.
Smoke and mirrors. No plan, period.
So it's just, again, it's amazing to me. Also, got to get your take on him attacking the GM union, the GM plant shutting down in Ohio, trashing the union leader who was saying, dude, we tried to email you what's going on. Congressman Tim Ryan said the same thing. Hey, we hit you up, got no response from you. Again, smoke and mirrors, all these union workers in Ohio, other places who supported Trump, are they now going buyer's remorse?
I think that many are. If you look at what's happening and look at what the president said when he was in Lima, Ohio, talking about it's the union's fault, it's high union dues, that's the reason why these plants are leaving, that has nothing to do with anything. Think about it. When he was running for president, he made certain commitments. He said that he was going to keep manufacturing in this country. He was going to reopen plants. He was going to bring plants back from overseas. Now he's got 2 years, and that record has not been fulfilled at all. And we've got to hold him accountable for that. So we are holding him accountable in Lordstown, Ohio, where they're talking about closing the GM plant, where they have closed the GM plant, in Carrier in Indiana, where he said, this company's not moving. And they've reduced their workforce. Look at the facts. Look at what he has done in 2 years and compare that with the promises that he made to working families, saying that their lives and their communities were going to be a lot stronger.
So explain this. So on one hand, I listen to his supporters who say wages are up, but then he's complaining about union wages. Well, I thought if you support wages, but are these bad and these good? I'm trying to understand the logic here.
Well, it's an attack. I mean, let's face it, we've got to call it out the way that it is. This is really an attack on working people to weaken folks who are trying to play by the rules every single day, who want a seat at the table. One of the ways in which you get a seat at the table is to have strong unions in this country. 62% of Americans believe that the union movement, the labor movement, is vital. It's that checks and balances against corporations and politicians who want to hurt working families. Wages are essentially flat, okay? If you look at the difference between the super wealthy, those that have a lot, that difference is increasing, it's growing. It's the largest it's been in American history.
And in fact, the top 1% worldwide control 45% of all wealth. I mean, the top 1% control 45% of all wealth worldwide.
something's wrong with that picture. And the only thing that we can do, and you've got to have a strong labor movement, and that's why they're coming after us. That's why we have a bullseye on our backs. They want to weaken us further so they can keep wages down, so those profits can be high, and they can hurt working families all across the country. That's the only conclusion that you can come to. But let me say this. I think they've overreached. I really believe that they've overreached. We had a case in the public sector called Janus. And essentially what that case did, when it became the law of the land, the Supreme Court heard it, it made every single state in the public sector right to work, meaning that you don't have to be a member of the union. You don't have to pay union dues, yet you receive the same level of benefits that a member will receive. They tried to hurt us. They thought that was going to bury us.
But in fact, let's be honest. The union movement also was scared to death. I mean, of Janus. I mean, a lot of people I talked to, they said, look, this may severely weaken us, may take us out of business. There was real fear about this decision.
There was real fear.
So what has happened?
But let me tell you what happened. We went back to basics within the union movement. Our union, AFSCME, went back to basics. We started talking to people one-on-one every single day. We had 1 million one-on-one conversations with our members and progressive members saying, what are your expectations? What do you think? What are the issues that impact on you? Communicating with them, throwing away that the iPhone, getting rid of that iPad, and talking with folks, reconnecting with our members. When Janus hit, when that Supreme Court decision said this is going to be the law of the land, folks said, uh-oh, they're coming after me directly. And we've got to stand up and we've got to make our voices heard. And you've seen that in state after state after state. Within AFSCME, we've been organizing new members at a record rate. Since 2016, we've organized more than 26,000 members, even under the Janus attacks.
So according to what you guys report to the Department of Labor,
yep.
You've added 9,000 new members.
In 2018.
19,000 retirees.
19,000 retirees in 2018.
And you've retained 94% of all represented workers.
94%. Even with Janus being the law of the land, we retained 94% of our folks because they got it and they understand that the trade union movement, that unions stand in the way of folks who are trying to take their power and take their livelihood away from them. We've just got to continue that message.
Were you even surprised by these numbers?
I was. Even we have developed this campaign we call AFSCME Strong. It's been going on for 3-4 years. We were expecting a higher loss, but because of the work that we did, rolling up our sleeves, all of our affiliates, not just the National Union, but our affiliates, talking with our members and with our potential members, our volunteers talking with their sisters and brothers, we were able to stop the bleeding and actually convince people in saying that we need our union. And the union is the only way that we can get better benefits, better health insurance, working protections on the job, all of those kinds of things, health and safety provisions. So people are coming back. And they're saying, okay, they're coming after us, but we've got to organize and mobilize and educate so we can't get hurt.
So if you've done this and you've seen the impact, how do you now say, okay, we got to do the exact same thing to the non-union workers? We got to go to them and walk them through, the people who listen to conservative talk radio, who listen to Fox News, who listen to Trump, who attack and say unions are the bane of Americans' existence. Is that now the next wave? Because here we are at the end of March in 2019, 8 more months left in 2019, presidential election in 2020. To me, this is going to be, especially now with Trump attacking the Affordable Care Act, this is going to be a huge issue. So what's the next phase?
We've got to talk about what he is doing that is hurting working families. As I said earlier, there is a track record now, a 2-year track record, things that he promised versus things that he is doing. And it is very clear that he's going after working families. Health care, okay? The tax breaks that he gave the wealthy corporations in the top 1%, while the average worker was getting hurt. The attack on unions, the attack on collective bargaining, ways in which our members and our communities can uplift themselves by having a seat at the table. We've just got to talk about the fact that these things are under attack, and it's affecting you, and your families and your communities. And when you have that kind of basic conversation, people get it and they understand it. Now, are we going to get back everybody who voted for Trump? No, I don't think so, because there are other reasons why people voted for the president. But are we going to get back a good percentage of those who just wanted to see if he would do anything differently to help them, and now they see that he is not doing anything to help them, he's doing things to hurt them? We'll get them back.
Well, I think we also, I mean, I've been seeing this on the media side. I look at BuzzFeed, I look at the Los Angeles Times, I look at all these other different media outlets where workers have organized themselves and they've actually joined unions because they said, oh, wait a minute, hold up. You know, we thought technology companies were taking care of us, but then it's also big business. And I think that's the piece that I think for a lot of people, they really don't understand. And you've heard me say it before, and I have no issue, even if AFSCME being a partner of ours, I think the unions have hurt themselves by allowing someone else to control the narrative and not telling their story. I mean, we celebrate Labor Day every single year, and the average person has no idea where that even came from. You can go through just so many different things that are part of our daily life, and if you ask the average person, how do you think that actually came about? They have no union. They have no idea that actually that was the result of hard work from unions.
And you're right. I mean, we have got to take the full responsibility of educating not only our union members, but working families who may not be in unions, because unions have had a positive impact on their lives also. That's why you and I have a good relationship, because you have an audience that we want to connect with. We want to educate and mobilize that audience to say, this is what trade unions have done for you and your family.
Oh, no. I mean, look, my dad worked for Amtrak.
Yep.
I mean, the reality is that's what took care of our family and put me through college and, to this day. So I lived that experience. And that's what I think also is interesting. And so it just popped into my head. I'd be very curious. Do y'all have a campaign that involves next generation folks who have grown up now, who can tell a story of I'm where I am because my mom or dad was in a union?
Mm-hmm. And within AFSCME, we have what we call the Next Wave program, which is the young members, 35 and under, and we have them telling a story as far as what the union has meant to them and their families, their mothers and fathers, their grandparents, and why we've got to really keep those benefits. We've got to keep that energy alive, and other unions are doing the same kind of thing. Something else that we've got to do is we've got to promote the labor education in public schools by having specific programs where students understand and are learning about the importance of labor and what has been done. The 1968 strike in Memphis, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was a strike of
sanitation workers.
Right. AFSCME members. As a matter of fact, April 4th, coming up next week. We were down in Memphis last year, the 50th anniversary, telling that story and making the connections of what the labor movement has done for our communities all across the country. We've got to continue to talk about that. Nobody else talks better about that than our members and those who have been affected and those who are in unions.
Are you hearing enough about wages in working class families from the Democratic candidates thus far?
We are. As a matter of fact, I am very, very happy with what the candidates are saying. And we're going to continue to push them. Make no mistake about it. But I've got to be honest with you. 5, 6, 7 years ago, we had some of our allies and friends in the Democratic Party that would not use or say the word union. Now they're doing it. They're even doing it when I'm not in the room. Mm-hmm. So that means that something is happening that's good, right? And we're going to continue to push that. And I think that there's a connection, and people understand that connection. People understand that we are the checks and balances against those who are trying to take our rights away from us. So our friends are standing up to the plate. And you look at what happened in the election in 2018, where we were able to flip 7 governor seats. We were able to flip some state legislatures because people concentrated and talked about the importance of supporting working families all across this country.
But I think one of the things that, when you go back to narrative, and look, I mean, I'm in that business, is that we created this this picture of through celebrity, I think through just hype of these huge companies and just and billionaires and lifestyles and things along those lines. I think like people got so consumed. I mean, look at all the hype around Trump. Oh, he's rich and successful. Then I kept going, yeah, but there were people at his casinos, small business owners, who he wouldn't pay. Mm-hmm. And then would tell them, oh, I'll hold you up in court, so I'm going to pay you 10 cents on the dollar. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, so you take pride in that? You're siding with him over that small business owner, and you're saying, oh, that's a good businessman, and you're taking pride in that, but how would you feel when your boss does it? And I think when we look at so many other companies, even technology companies, I think a lot of Americans got so wrapped up in also media hype that was driving this, that they didn't realize that I'm actually being screwed by this. We were taught, oh, consolidation is great and is wonderful. But, I mean, right now, Hollywood studios are realizing this. Fox is laying off 4,000 people because of Disney acquiring. And those jobs are not coming back. And so I think what's happening is, I think people have to be trained to go, okay, you're getting screwed. So you might think this is great, what you're watching on television, but how much money is in your pockets? Can your children get a job? Can they be fed? Can they be educated? Will you have health care? I think that's also part of that, just sort of reprogramming people to say, no, you think that's great? Yeah, for that person who's now worth $5 billion, it ain't great for you.
That's right.
They want to hold on to as much cash as possible.
They want more.
And they want you doing the 3, 4, 5 different jobs from a productivity standpoint, so they don't have to hire anybody else.
That's why it's so important for us to continue with our coalition partners to organize and mobilize and educate our communities every single day of the year and talk about the issues that impact on them and their families. And that's what we're doing. And that's what we've got to continue to do in 2019 and 2020. I really believe, and you've heard me say this before, that I think we're in the middle of a movement moment where communities are coming together saying, whoa, we didn't bargain for this. This is not what we thought was going to happen. This is impacting on a lot of folks. I know it's impacting on me, and this is wrong. And you've got people coming together saying, stop. We've got to get back to basics here, and we've got to fight. And again, what I've said before is he now has a track record of hurting people. And we've got to promote that. We've got to talk about that.
Look at Carrier. I mean, all that hype, we're going to save your jobs. Carrier took the tax breaks, took all the public adulation. Yep. 6 months later,
gone.
See y'all later.
Bye-bye.
I'm like, yo, that was a PR move.
And then he's going to blame the unions.
And he took the tax breaks.
Come on, man. That doesn't even work. It doesn't even work. It doesn't even pass muster. So, again, it's about educating our folks. And I think that we're in a moment where people are saying, this is wrong. And we can no longer be silent.
Well, because I think because what happened was people kept falling for the hype. Okay? We were told, first of all, now we knew it, that, $1.5 trillion tax break. All of these companies, they're going to take that money, they're going to reinvest into the company, into workers' wages. And then people got pimped. Here's a $1,000 bonus.
A bonus.
And people are like,
Not
great.
Even in your wage, but a bonus.
It's like, okay. I appreciate $1,000 bonus. What about next year?
Yep.
And the year after that?
Yep.
Wasn't a $1,000 annual increase. It's a one-time bonus, which they also got write-offs from. And so people went, wait a minute. And so all the talk, wages are going to go up. And then when you hear wages going up, well, then the question is, well, how much? If the stock market is exploding and is doing so great, and if these companies, I mean, look, the repatriation, American companies had $2.6 trillion in overseas profits. They had no intentions. And then what happened? Tax break goes through, and they sat there, we're going to buy back stock. That money went back to the shareholders. When half of America doesn't even have money in the stock market.
Right. What went to the workers?
And again, I think what happened is, I think when you watch these business networks, in many ways they look like sports networks. It's, oh, the economy is zooming, it's going great, and people are like, oh, that's great. And then they see this billionaire and that billionaire. Oh my God, look at their yachts and houses, and you're going, you know you're broke. You know you're broke. And I think it became psychological. People thought that image meant America's back. But when you have 80% of America who, if they have an emergency, they don't have $1,000 to grab. No, that's, to me, the real concern.
Well, we've got to take advantage of this moment. I really do believe that. And I think that people are primed to say, hey, enough is enough here. This is wrong. We can't continue to go down this direction, and we've got to make change in which everybody has a seat at the table and everybody can share in this nation's prosperity. And that is not happening right now, and that's what we've got to get back to. The labor movement plays a vital role in that, along with our community partners, our coalition partners. And from now through 2019 and 2020, we've got to stand up, we've got to raise hell, make our voices heard, and then go to the ballot box and say, we're going to get these folks that are trying to hurt us or kill us, get them out of the way and elect folks that are worker-friendly.
Well, that's why we created this show. That's why, for us, focus on 2020, we created this segment called The American Worker to break down these things 2 and 3 times a month to really be able to show people and walk them through. Because I think part of the deal is when you don't know, you don't know. Then all of a sudden, when someone walks you through, it's like, whoa, I didn't realize that. Now you understand why these things matter. So, all right, look forward to it. Lee, appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
Keep on fighting, man.
All right. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible.